2, 3. We are having a difficulty on this end. Somebody text me and tell me if, all right, I am live. Got that from Greg. All right, folks, here's what we're going to have to do today. It's Friday. I got another, you're on the air. Okay, good. I've got another, you're on the air. All right, folks, let me tell you something. It's Friday. I have something that I've punched or done on the system, and it's not working, so who knows? So I'm going out the old way. You'll have to text your questions or comments today. Let me say that you are listening to Nichols Live. Nichols Live, and I am Larry Nichols, and the listen line number is 401-283-6754. 401-283-6754, and press 1. Now, sorry about not being able to take calls. I don't know what I did, but I did something, and it is not hooked up, so we're going to have to, any comment you have, you're going to have to text me today at 440-897-0611, 440-897-0611, just like we used to do. Sorry about the technical problem. Now, to the program today. I guess I need to apologize for not being on yesterday. Greg had to run, and Alden had to run a replay of a program because I was on with Alex Jones, of course, and I didn't get off in time, and by the time I did get off, Alden was having in Austin, or in Houston, where he's at, he was having strong thunderstorms. You all know about the weather in Texas. And he was having, anyway, it was just a major difficulty, so we just ran the replay. I hope you saw the interview with Alex. Alex is genuinely worried. He is genuinely worried about the country. Folks, this country is in a mess. We know it here. We talk about it. I was awfully proud to have Alex say, let's talk about solutions. And that's what we're here for. We're here for solutions. And we're going to solve the country's problems, I hope. Now, I would like, if any of you would, if you want to text me, I'd like to know your comment about yesterday's program with Alex. Whether you think we got the point across to his audience. By the way, just so that you know, there was something good happened yesterday with being on with Alex. The money that we have to raise today, for all practical purposes, we're about $100, and that's it short. It's already in. It has already come in. So today, if you can help, it would help if we could get 100. The point of Alex's program is things are happening, and they're happening fast. Now, I was told this morning that I was reminded this morning there was a point in the program where Alex asked me something, and I told him that the people that would put us in submission, I think he was referring maybe to the military and stuff, and I said it'd be the Cubans, and he said, well, I disagree with you there. And then he said, he could be wrong. Now let me tell you something, guys. Chris read an article to me, which I guess she has posted on our Facebook. And it's an article where the Cuban Coast Guard is here meeting with our president's administration. Think about that. Cuban Coast Guard officials are here meeting with the administration. Now, that may not seem significant to any of you. As a matter of fact, in the article, if you'll go find it and read it, the article actually says they were here 2 months ago doing the same thing. Coast Guard, Cuban Coast Guard people are here meeting with our administration. What you may not know, see, in America, we've got a military, we've got a Coast Guard, we've got police, we've got several different organizations. But in Cuba, the police, the military, Coast Guard, they're all the same. They're all a function of the Cuban military. Did you know that? Now, they may have police duty. They may be military that practice military maneuvers. Holy smokes, folks. Greg just texted me, milestone. We just hit 7,000 listeners live and climbing. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. 7,000 and climbing. Y'all, we're going to get to 10,000. We probably already are 10,000 when you count YouTube, etc. But back to what I was saying. They may be Cuban military and their job is doing police stuff, and then somebody else's job in the military is doing what we would call army type things. But I assure you, in Cuba, they all are under the military. So, when we hear that the Cuban Coast Guard is here, what we're really saying is Cuban military officials are here. Now, what are they doing here? Now, I will say also, do any of you believe that the Cuban, quote-unquote, Coast Guard people that are here, do any of you believe that they're just peon Coast Guard guys? Hmm? Do you believe just regular old peon Coast Guard guys are here meeting with our administration officials? Do you? I don't at all. I believe that the Cuban Coast Guard people here are obviously high-level people if they're meeting with our administration. I wonder what they're meeting about. I wonder, what are they talking about? Are they talking about joint Coast Guard operations? They might be. I'm not going to say they're not. They talking about the ships passing back and forth now that we've got normalized relationships? I'm not going to say they're not. But I'll tell you what I do find hard to believe looking at that. That would be something that Coast Guard to Coast Guard would talk about. They would work out territorial responsibilities. They wouldn't be meeting with the administration about that, I shouldn't think. You know, that's one of those detail things that the lower level people talk about and meet about. These these Coast Guard officials have met 2 months ago with Obama's administration and are meeting today with Obama's administration. Wow. Wow. Why do I say wow? Well, it goes back to Alex yesterday thinking, maybe, now he said he could be wrong, so bless his heart. But if we go into FEMA provisional government, rest assured that this administration, for that matter, I don't think any administration necessarily, unless it's a legitimate crisis, but this administration certainly does not believe that American military personnel would participate actively in putting our country and the people of this country, which is their family and friends, into submission. I don't believe they think that. I got a text here, Cubans will be as mean as SS, KGB, or ISIS, and probably lead martial law in the South. Let me assure you, I had actually fought what are called Cuban black cats. Been in combat with them, against them. They're tough. So tough, in fact, that as the old Soviet Union went into countries, as I think I've told y'all before, the Soviet Union would send in Spetsnaz, which would be the equivalent to our special forces personnel that we send in to like Syria, Iraq, Afghanistan, etc. But they would go in as advisors. But everywhere I met Spetsnaz in combat, they were always outfitted with Cuban military black hats to do the fighting, the grunt work. And what we've known for some 20 years, which was one of the fears of the domino theory back during Reagan's time, which was why we got so actively involved in the Contras versus the Sandinistas in Nicaragua, Central America, was because in that day there was a fear. And the fear was that first, for example, Nicaragua would fall to communism, which it did. Then communism would spread into Honduras, which it was starting to. And from Honduras, it would go into Guatemala. The Spetsnaz, the Soviets, were already with advanced forces into Guatemala. And this was in, I think it was 87, 88. They were already there, had a forward base. There were some 60 of them, I recall. And then from Honduras, they would certainly do one of two things. They would either spread in to Mexico, but then there was another way that they could come here. They could move over and come up through Cuba. Because why? Cuba was already communist. So we had two people coming at us. We had communism coming up from the south, Nicaragua, Honduras, then Guatemala, then Mexico, and it would put communists right on our southern border of Mexico. And then at the same time, we had communists right in Cuba, some 90 miles away. And the threat was that, this is how we knew the time it would take. The threat was the Cubans could have 250,000 people here in that day in about 12 hours. They could literally bring in almost 250,000 troops in 12 hours. Today, that figure, if it is a friendly penetration, which means their aircraft could come into our airspace unopposed, they could be here in 6 hours. And we would have a ground force here on the ground of 250,000 foreign troops. Now, for such an operation, there would need to be advance work. How do you do advance work? Well, you either do it with secret, operations, sending in recon units in the cover of darkness, and they look over the lay of the land and see. Or there's another way. Another way. What if, they just come in and meet with our officials and they work out the procedure for how to get here in case this day ever came. I'm not saying it's imminent as yet, but I'm saying, how about if they did work it out? Got a text here. It says, "Hi, Larry. Douglas," I'm not going to say his last name here. "Really enjoyed hearing you and Alex yesterday. Hillary, I believe, is going to get indicted, finally. Evidenced by Obama mentioning martial law and FEMA disaster camps yesterday. How do we stop this desperate attempt? By the way, I got my Cobra avalanche crossbow from Buck yesterday. Works great. I'm telling you, Douglas, thank you. That thing is, I think you would agree with me that it's an excellent weapon, would you not say? Now, back to Hillary being indicted. Douglas, I don't care what anybody says. The chances of Hillary actually being indicted are slim. I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm just saying it's very, very slim. Now, one thing that might cause Hillary a little bit of a problem relative to being indicted, actually kind of off the subject of the Cubans, but I need to talk since he brought it up. I think it's something that needs to be dealt with. There is the possibility, and I have heard this from a couple of people that are reasonably well positioned within the Democratic Party, although they are not communists. They fear what's happening. But there seems to be some concern that if Hillary loses California, they believe her candidacy would become so jeopardized that they don't know if she could win the general election. They don't know. That might cause somebody to think maybe we better go on and indict her and get somebody else to run. Now remember, the doubt I have as to that being an actual real scenario is the fact that if she gets indicted, then a whole bunch of people are going to be destroyed, and they know it. So at this moment in time, let's all agree to this. With what we think we know, that's all I can say, what we think we know from what has been made public. If Hillary has not yet been indicted, it's a stretch to believe she will be indicted. They obviously have the testimony of certain key people that should be sufficient enough to warrant at least a grand jury review, and it ain't happening. So I don't believe Douglas she's going to be indicted. I just don't. If she is indicted, then folks, here's where we will be. The threat of Hillary Clinton destroying America would finally be over. It would finally be over. However, her replacement, which would be some variation of Joe Biden, Elizabeth Warren, will be the same. It will be the same. Their goal, their agenda would be still the same. And we would have another problem if that's who it becomes. Remember, at least with Hillary, people's eyes are open. People are scared. People know Hillary is a criminal. And lots of people are awake about Hillary Clinton. What I would fear if a Biden or an Elizabeth Warren were to get elected, people would be asleep. They wouldn't fear them like they do Hillary, even though their goals and agendas would be the same. But for me, the war would finally end. And dear God, I'd be free. I'd be free of the curse of Hillary. Free. However, I would not be free of the destruction of America. But at least I would be relegated to a role of everybody else. I mean, I might have a little more inside information, but it wouldn't be anything like that of Hillary. Now back to what I was saying about Cuba. I'm trying to drive home the point. I really am trying to drive home the point. Plans being made. And it may be moot about Hillary in the first place. Because I do not believe Barack Hussein, our black Muslim president, even to this day, I do not believe he intends to easily give up the seat of president when he has in his grasp right now in his hands, he can reach out and touch becoming officially our king, our dictator. And all he needs is just these riots around Trump's speeches to get worse. All he needs is Black Lives Matter. All he needs are some of these Muslims that are here to blow something up, and he's got what he wants. I get this text: our military won't fight against us. Will they fight Cubans? You sound like you're feeling well today, Lynn. I'm a little puny today, Lynn. I'm trying to be strong. I'm trying to keep it going. You know that. Will they fight Cubans? You bet our military will fight them, and our military will beat them like yard dogs. If the commanders are allowed to fight. I don't want to see, Lynn, the day that the Cubans would be brought in to put us into submission under FEMA, provisional government, and our military be ordered to stand down. Now, how could that happen? Well, we have what's called posse comitatus. And technically, our military cannot function inside the confines of the borders of the United States of America. But if the Cubans were brought in as a function of the Emergency Crisis Management FEMA government proviso, they would have legitimate grounds to be here, so says the president. And we would have to have commanders willing to go against their commander-in-chief and order our military to fight here in America against an enemy that you and I would know to be the enemy, but our administration and our government would not call them the enemy. It would be a touchy situation then. It would be it'd be a real tough situation. But I believe in our military, because when we say our military, folks, we're actually talking about our sons, daughters, husbands, wives, fathers, mothers. Us. That's us. And although our military, I find it incredulous to believe they would ever turn their weapons against us. They would turn it against Cubans or any other invasionary force. Under any pretense, they would. So, that should help there, Lynn. And then, let's see what else I've got. Larry, the guinea pig here. Even if Hillary is indicted, Obama will pardon her, just like Ford pardoned Nixon. Guinea pig, it won't work that way. It won't work that way. Hillary gets indicted, she will take her revenge out on every person in Washington. She will. She will. I mean, it's... And then I got this. Do you think the scandals will hurt Hillary in November? Yes. Not the way you're thinking, listener. But you and I, we, all of us, believe it or not, folks, that's what you're being trained for right now. We're going to make the scandals hurt Hillary in November. You, us, we are. Now, I got to walk the scandal walk to some degree alone. But every one of you are going to have a role to play once the scandals are unleashed. And I'll do the unleashing. I just got good news here. I got 35 from Marlene. Marlene, thank you. Thank you so much. Still need, about $100 if you can. I'm not going to beat you over the head today or beg. If we get the 100, we get it. Maybe it'll come in. Today, I don't want to do it. Today, I don't want to do it. We were blessed with Alex's audience. They have chipped in. Thanks to Alex. I didn't ask. He did. Thanks to their help, you know what? We've been granted a reprieve. The treatments will go on. And we, technically, we're about $60 short of absolutely having it covered. So, let's look at today as a good day. At least on that front, let's look at today as a good day. And I will keep you posted, I promise, on Cuba. There will be the stuff I will find out about in time to help us. I will, about Cuba. You'll know. You'll know before anybody else in the country knows, folks. I promise you that. I got this from the listener. I'm sending $20 today. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Now, there's another article that is going to appear on my Facebook page. Folks, this one, Chris read to me. I take it back, she didn't read it to me, she told me about it. I think it's been put on the Facebook page. Chris, if you would, text me if it is. Now this is a strange story. There is a tunnel that has been opened. yesterday, I think, was the grand opening. Went right through the Alps. Right through the Swiss Alps. 35 miles. Opening up access, well, for a high-speed train, the whole 9 yards. Technically, it also opens up a straight line for Syrians to come in to Germany and then here. But that's not what I don't even want to talk about it. That's bad. The attendees at this opening ceremony, if I've got it right, I think it was Merkel from Germany. I got this from Chris, hold on. Oh yes, it is, with the YouTube on to boot. All right, so there is a YouTube that, and I got another person that said, yes, it's on your Facebook. The YouTube you may want to watch and make sure your children aren't around. I think Putin was there. Anyway, a bunch of dignitaries. And that's not really what is that significant. What is significant that you will see if you go to my Facebook and then click on the thingy and you watch the YouTube of the event, of the grand opening, or whatever you want to call it. It was people coming out in orange suits like construction workers. Now I'm just repeating what I'm told, so I haven't actually seen it yet, but she told me enough that I know what it was. Comes out with people in orange suits, kind of like on a flatbed truck, like they were the workers. And then they proceed to take off the orange suits, and then they're in costumes. And there, for the grand opening of this tunnel, are all of these people going through homosexual acts. Yeah. Homosexual acts, making out like they're doing man-to-man, woman-to-woman stuff. And they've got, some of them have costumes, or there's costumes that look like the devil. Truly one of the strangest opening ceremonies I've ever even heard of. Every one of you listening to me, you should go to Larry Nichols, Conway, Arkansas, on Facebook, and watch it. Watch it. And what you're going to see, I think, and I'm trying to be careful because I don't know how to say exactly what I'm trying to say, so folks, forgive me. This is just something that's in that kind of out of my pay grade status. If you ever doubted that Satan has been given a position of power by the people on this earth, watch that opening ceremony. Watch it. Don't be confused. Please don't be confused. God is in control. But remember, God gives us free will. See, there's the kicker. God gives us free will. And the devil's just lurking out there. The devil's hanging around out there, and he wants planet Earth. He wants it. He wants to claim it for himself. And he wants to take all of us that he can get with him to the pits of hell. And what's scary? What is so scary? We as a nation, we as a member of the world, we have just idolizing evil. Evil. We have replaced goodness. We've replaced, what do you call it? We've replaced being godly and trying to live up to what God gave us, the simple 10 Commandments. What do you call it? We've given it up. Got this from a listener, CERN Portals, CERN Portals. I don't know what that is, and I got this from Alden. He says what you're talking about is all over the music industry, especially in the mainstream music. That's what I'm talking about, Alden, all of you. I mean, we've gone. I guess we've gone to hell. We've gone to hell. And if you doubt it, if any of you doubt it, watch that YouTube video. That is a ceremony where they're proclaiming it's one of the great wonders of the world, this tunnel. And it probably is some kind of structural wonder. Digging a 35-mile tunnel right through the Swiss Alps. Yeah, it's probably quite a marvel of engineering, technology. But dear God in heaven, to dedicate that, which is what I say they're doing, they're not saying it, but I am. They're dedicating that tunnel to the devil, to Satan. I got this from Chris. This worshiping of evil. She says it's in churches also. Seeker friendly. Don't know what that means. Seeker friendly. I mean, don't. Is it me? I mean, good heavens. Here's what a listener said. It's sexual sins especially. Sell the soul to Satan. That's right. Sell the soul of the world to Satan. It's bad enough we're selling the soul of our nation to Satan. Now, it appears we're not alone. We're selling the world to Satan. And don't doubt, any one of you, that Islam, that's growing by millions and millions every month, Islam is Satan. The devil's laughing. I promise you, Satan's laughing about that one. He's got all these mohairs out there thinking they've followed some kind of religion or whatever. It's a lie. And Satan's going to catch up with them. They're expecting to go to Allah heaven and get 72 virgins or whatever it is they think they're going to get when they get there. But what's true is Satan's an enemy to Christ. Islam is an enemy to Christ. I don't know why preachers can't say that. I understand why politicians won't say that, because they're cowards, because we've got a president that is one. The preachers, why won't preachers say that? Look, here it is Friday, the first week of June, in the year of 2016. And today, we have a man running for president, people gathering to hear him speak, and then they are attacked by protesters. It wasn't a protest, it was a riot, essentially. They were beat up. They had eggs and rocks and everything else thrown at them. And right here in America, land of free speech, here it was, here in America, yesterday, that I tell you today, this first Friday of June in the year 2016, creeps holding the Mexican flag, waving it, taking an American flag and burning it. And then demanding that we welcome them into this country, regardless how they get here, legal or illegal. And when we dare to stand up, for America, we're guilty of hate speech. When we dare to talk about those people holding those Mexican flags, waving them at a speech for a man running legitimately for President of the United States, and burning the American flag. And what that means, if you understand the symbolism, they are taking our heritage in a land that they have invaded, and they have taken our heritage and burned it right in front of our eyes. Burned it. Spit on it, stepped on it. And we're told we should welcome them. We're told that these people are bringing to our nation valuable knowledge, all these great things. And if we talk against people that wave the Mexican flag while they're burning the American flag, if we talk against it, we are in danger of committing hate speech. And Red Lynch said she'd prosecute. The first Friday of June 2016. Then we hear the story of over in Europe. They're celebrating a marvel of construction and so forth with lewd and satanic demonstrations. There wasn't nobody dedicating that thing to God, Jesus Christ. No. I mean, don't you see? Even in Europe, Jesus was banned from that event. Even in Europe, they made it quite clear. Jesus Christ, you're not welcome. And then they're going to be upset. when that tunnel, that marvel of engineering, when it comes tumbling down, crushing any and everyone that's in it or around it. You know what'll happen then? When it comes crumbling down on top of people, you know what'll happen? Oh, they'll pray. They'll all pray to God. They'll all have their prayers asking God to have mercy on the people that died and the families of those that died. Do you think you will? I got this text from the person. There's an occult agenda behind the CERN, Large Hadron Collider, LHC. Some believe that it is an attempt or an open interdimensional gateway, wormholes, to allow evil beings, dark spiritual forces, fallen angels, demons freely to enter our dimension. Located in Geneva, Switzerland, the tunnel ceremony was a manifestation of the demonic portals being opened. Now that and I don't know about. Listen, I don't know, so folks, that ain't me saying that. That's out of my pay grade. That is out of my pay grade. You know, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I believe in all of these portals to another dimension. But what I do believe in is the existence of Jesus Christ in our world. He's here. And I just don't believe he appreciated them opening that ceremony, celebrating the enemy of Christ. I just don't believe it. And I find it awfully difficult this day, first Friday of June, the year 2016. I find it hard to believe that we're sitting here and Hillary Rodham Clinton is a presumptive winner of the Democratic Party primary. I find it incredibly hard to believe on this, the first Friday, June 2016, the year of, that of the people that have voted thus far in this election, that over half in America would have voted for one person that's a socialist, the other person that is a communist. I do find that quite incredible. And it makes me wonder. What the hell are we doing? What? And then when you add to that inviting Cubans over here, getting them to send over people to talk to our Coast Guard, border guards. Yeah, talk to our border guards. I wonder about that. Hold on.
And to you as a believer in Jesus Christ. The program title is The Tactical Strategy to Defeat Islam. Larry Nichols and Carol Chapline, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Greg. Welcome, Carol.
Yes, and I'm with you, and I'm privileged to be part of it. I really, really am. And so I'm going to sit here and listen, Larry, and if I do have anything that I'm really curious about asking you, I'll kind of jump in, okay?
Well, yes, and Greg, Carol, before I go any further, the reason I wanted you here, and folks, this is unfair to Carol. As Greg said in the beginning, Carol's been with me for over 10 years. She has seen me do good, and she has seen me when I was not doing so good. And, Carol, would it be fair to say that I have made horrible, horrible mistakes that you've witnessed?
Horrible, horrible mistakes that you witnessed. I have no memory of those.
Well, let me take your memory. I'm back. Sorry about that, folks. I guess the devil didn't like what I was saying because he got inside my computer, and I'm telling you, just all of a sudden, my computer iPad-y thing just froze up. It has never done that. I don't even know how to make it do that. And I didn't touch nothing, so I couldn't have touched something and made it do it. Even if I knew what I was touching, I wouldn't know how to touch it to make it do it. But maybe, if you will, tell me if I'm on the air now. Hello, somebody tell me if I'm on the air now. I should be. Hello, Earth to the audience. I've gotten a bunch saying, let me see. Hello, somebody, anyway, we're almost out of time this Friday. Somebody tell me if I'm back on. I hope I am. The computer, all right, says I'm back live. Thank you, Greg. Look, folks, today's just one of those days that it's just hard to figure it out, guys. It's just hard to figure how we can allow ourselves to be in the shape we're in. I've got tons of people saying I'm back. Thank you all for letting me know. I just want to let you know. We can't, you and I, do much about the world. We just can't. No reason for us to panic. We have what we've got to do. And the first thing we have to do to put God back in his rightful place in this world, the thing we can do, that we have to do, is bring him back home here. We need to bring God back here. That we can do. I can't handle Merkel. I can't handle Putin. What they do, what happens to them, hey, that's their business. That's out of our pay grade. But I will tell you this, we can sure bring God back to America. We can put him in his rightful place here. I'll tell you something else we can do. We can make sure the demons that are roaming this earth, one of which being Hillary Rodham Clinton, we can kind of make sure she don't get hold of the keys to this nation. That's our job. If we do that, we will have taken a giant step towards driving the devil out of the world. We will. So help me. All of you, help me. Make a commitment today. Every one of you. Take an oath today. This first Friday of June in the year 2016. Take an oath. That we, you, me, us, that we're going to do everything in our power to see that this country is whole and and made right again. That we are going to dedicate our lives, our fortunes, to the preservation of the greatest nation on earth. And that we will see to it that our children, our grandchildren, that they are protected in the future. So help us God. And with that, folks, I'm out of here. I'm about 3 minutes early. But my computer thing's running out. It's Friday. Y'all have a good weekend. Keep the faith. Please keep the faith. And I will see you Monday, good Lord willing, in the creek don't rise. Till then, see you Monday.